Was the biblical flood caused by extraterrestrial intervention? Before the flood, a paradoxical life form appeared in Mesopotamia. An English astronomer examining the question of life on other planets advised the world scientific community not to take the idea that the inhabitants of Mars could visit the Earth as a joke. At that time, however, there were some of the most reputable, serious, and realistic scientists who were engaged with persistence and will to illuminate one of the greatest mysteries of the Earth. According to them, there are indications that the creatures of a planet once visited us and even caused the flood, which the Bible mentions. Finally, we also have some astronomical data in which some intelligence located on Mars tries to communicate with us with the help of light signals. The first indications were presented around the end of the World War I in Mesopotamia, and there, therefore, at a distance of 18 kilometers from the Arab city of Nazareth, the German officers of the Turkish army one day discovered the old city of Ur of the Chaldeans. Remember that Abraham was originally from Ur before he came to the Promised Land. So they discovered the old city of Ur of the Chaldeans where Abraham spent his childhood. In January 1918, with 400 Indian horsemen and numerous cars, the English arrived at that place and began to carry out excavations which immediately brought to light amazing things. After a while, orders arrived from London to stop all work, and before 2 weeks had passed, the British Museum sent out an archaeological expedition which determined the exact site of the ancient city of Ur and discovered traces of a civilization which flourished before the biblical flood. The inhabitants of Chaldea had discovered, as is well known, the making of the map, cartography. They wrote their books on slabs of soft clay, which they then baked in the oven to harden. Their libraries contain hundreds of such plates. Some of them even mentioned the flood and agreed with the Bible's narratives. All of them, without exception, mention something that is becoming known for the first time. Before the flood, a paradoxical life form appeared in Mesopotamia, but then it disappeared. And their artistic works, the Chaldeans attempted in their works to represent these strange creatures. The finest design is today in the British Museum. Also, ancient Chinese manuscripts, as well as accounts of the ancient Indians, spoke of strange creatures that had visited our planet before the flood. However, neither the Chinese nor the Indians gave us more information. They only said that these strange visitors had head and shoulders like humans and body and legs of a bull and the claws of an eagle. This picture is somewhat frightening, but if one were to examine the body of the drawing, which is in the British Museum, one notices two interesting points. The creature drawn there exhibits enormous respiratory organs, which are exaggerated in comparison with organs of earth animals. The whole structure of this creature shows great lightness and amazing strength. If then the ancient art of the Chaldeans was inspired by a living model, this strange creature could live in a very thin atmosphere like that of Mars. Moreover, many scientists have since come to the conclusion that the creatures mentioned by the ancients really existed and that 6,000 years ago our Earth was visited by strange creatures that had come from other planets. A champion of this theory was also the famous astronomer Pickering of the Harvard Observatory, who had discovered unorthodox light signals on Mars, which had a square, triangular, and circular shape. William Henry Pickering, February 15 to 1858 to January 16, 1938. Could it be that the inhabitants of Mars wanted to communicate with us by some kind of visual telegraphy? Was the biblical flood caused by extraterrestrial intervention? Many scientists advocate this strange theory based on archaeological discoveries. However, the opponents of this theory were numerous. And this news was published in the newspaper Astigmatos, July 28, 1939. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account, the daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.